You good?
Okay. Okay. Hey guys, I'm Kristen Dunbar. I'm a coach here in St. Joseph, Missouri. So before Herbalife, I was extremely unhealthy, extremely tired, and extremely overweight. I came and got started on our 3-day trial. Immediately noticed my amazing energy. Quickly moved on to my personalized Herbalife nutrition program. Again, amazing energy. Could keep up with my kids. Felt incredible. And you guys, I went on to lose 109 pounds. So I believe in these products. We know they can change lives, right? Because they changed mine. So I just want to welcome you all real quick to our call. It's our Sunday night call. It's our weekly business meeting, and it's a way for us to all come together and to learn and grow as a team. And I especially want to give a shout out if we have any new coaches joining us for the first time tonight. Do we have any new ones? No, we're all.
I don't think so.
All right.
Yes, we have someone new.
I'm sorry.
Is Alicia on? You guys, I think Alicia hopped on. Did
Yes,
she hop
I'm
on?
on.
Yes, okay, so I couldn't see everybody. You guys from just getting back from the trip and I'm at the airport. But you guys, Alicia is an amazing friend. I could almost cry talking about it. I'm so happy. I love her so much. And she's from the Fayetteville area and did the business a while ago. And, you know, life happened and she is back in full force. So welcome, Alicia.
Yes, welcome.
Hey, girl.
All right, so I think for the next section of our call, I'm just going to pass it over to Coach Gabby.
All right. Hey guys, how's everyone doing tonight? Good. All of us have now gone through January kickoff. Awesome, right? Amazing takeaways we're going to be sharing today. But first off, I just want to recognize Coach Lisa Gray. She has made her first cut of 2,500. That's so exciting. Congratulations. Your first cut to active supervisor. So that means you'll be joining Team Elite.
Thank you.
We're happy for you.
I still got a couple of days left. I'm still working on it. I'm going to get a little bit more on there.
Oh, yeah, girl. It's not over yet. That's awesome. All right. So January kickoff is the first big Herbalife event of the year. It's a 2-day training full of amazing stories, amazing advice, just everything to get the business going off on the right track to start your year. We're going to start with some takeaways. We're going to share anywhere between 1 to 3 takeaways.
Hey, Gabby, can I stop you for a second? Can people mute their microphones other than Gabby? Because I can't really hear Gabby over other people's. So everyone can do that real fast. Sorry, Gabby.
Oh, you're
Sorry,
okay.
Gabby.
You're good. Okay. So I'm going to start off sharing my 3 takeaways. It was so hard for me to pick 3. Oh my goodness. There's just so much. And I've just absorbed it all. I'm so glad I had my notebook and I was ready to really take down everything because I just got so much out of JKO. I mean, I feel like all of us got so much out of our JKOs. It was just incredible. So my first is don't think about what you don't have. Focus on what you do have, which is like huge to me. I was always focusing on what I didn't have, you know, sulking in my own sorrows. And I realized I wasn't getting me anywhere. It was pointless to be so negative. And, you know, I'm completely blessed and I've always been blessed. I've never had a terrible life and I just needed to switch my mindset. And that was a huge quote for me. I'm such like a quote driven person. So that really stuck out to me. When you're constantly focusing on problems and obstacles, you're most likely going to find more problems and more obstacles. So it's just all about that mindset switch. The universe is going to give you the attention that you give out. So when you radiate positivity, you'll always have positive outcomes. If you keep on looking for, you know, issues in the world, you're just always going to find them. If you're speaking positivity, if you are constantly, you know, giving gratitude, the world is going to reflect that back to you. So then my next one was look for ways to be a better you, not better than someone else. We are all on the same journey here. We're not here to compete. We are here to hold each other's hands and rise up together. I'm not looking to be better than the next person. I'm not looking to be better than anybody here, and we shouldn't look that way to anybody. We're always just constantly working on ourselves, which is huge. Learn to let things go. Forgive yourself. Take responsibility for everything that happens in your business. If there's somebody that falls off, a program and you're beating yourself up saying, oh man, like I could have really reached out to her a couple more times. I could have really done this. I could have really done that. That's okay. No problem. Forgive yourself, let it go, and find new. There's always ways to get past things, and that's what you have to do. You just have to keep going. You can't keep dwelling and dwelling and dwelling and dwelling on things that won't ever change. Another big thing, or my last big takeaway, was when our lady Denise, she had one person up on the stage, and our big thing is 5 to 7 clients a month and 1 new distributor. So, oh my gosh, she did 4 months worth of 5 new clients, or 5 to 7 new clients and 1 business builder. She had one person start and pass out flyers all over the room. And basically after 4 months of 5 to 7 clients, 1 new distributor, that entire stage was full. And it was just insane actually visualizing that and seeing how many people you can get off of just following the system. 5 to 7 new, 1 new distributor. Just seeing that in front of my face, I was like, oh my gosh, I could have been doing this from the jump. And it was insane. So if you can visualize that, seriously, do it and aim for 5 to 7. It is huge. So I'd like to open it up to the rest of the team. Would anybody like to share first?
I'll go. I did the online STS, and the guest speaker was Frank Lutz, and he is an executive president's team member. And apparently he was one of the first 20 supervisors in the country, actually in Herbalife. He started in 1980. So this guy is like retired himself with Herbalife. The takeaway that I got from him, even though he had like a lot to say, was that when times get tough, people quit the business, but they don't quit their friends. So if you build good relationships with your downlines and with your customers and the follow-up, the relationship is going to be really strong. Like people, they come in and out and things happen, or they go through phases in life, but what will bring them back is if they had a positive experience and a positive relationship. And if it's not just about the money or just he just said the relationships. And he said, my point number 2, how important it is that building the relationships will determine how stable your team is. Trying to get everybody what they want, knowing other people's whys, which obviously that just echoed everything that we've heard here. But at executive president's team member who's one of the originals, and this is not the first crisis that he's been through. He went through when Mark Hughes, passed away, and this is not the first time that the FTC or some government regulatory body has stepped in. He's been there, done that, and like that was one of the main things that has kept the people who are consistent in it. And then also he talked about massive action. That was interesting because I've heard that also, but like making sure your calls, making sure the flyers, whatever your DMO is, and being consistent and being, professional, taking risks, obviously with training, but he was saying like people who do that massive action or do it, in a strategic way and are consistent, get those results. So the relationship was definitely the top of the priority list, and that's what I wanted to share.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing all of that. That is huge. I cannot believe he was one of the first supervisors. That's awesome. Would anybody like to offer to go next?
Okay.
Was that Rachel? or Tiffany? Okay, Rachel.
I'll go next. So our guest speakers down here in Orlando were Trey and Mamie Heron. Absolutely incredible people. Trey's father was Prez Team. We lost him not that long ago. So Trey, when he started the business, was 19 years old. His dad was Prez Team, but his dad didn't give him a business. He taught him the business. He made Mill Team in 8 months and sat on Mill Team for 12 years before making Prez Team. So for those of us that have been stuck for a while, just know, like, anything is possible. That was one of the big things that I got from him. But that doesn't count towards my takeaways because I have way too much here. So let's see. One of the first things that I wanted to share with you guys is discipline weighs ounces, regrets weigh tons. That really sat with me because it's all about the discipline. If you're disciplined and you're doing your DMOs, you're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep trucking. But if you don't do something, that's gonna really weigh on you, and that's when you start to get in trouble. Trey actually started building a team out in Singapore, and so they have this saying out in Singapore. It's Saisu, and he says it's very hard for the translation, but really it means loving to learn from adversity. What he says is the best way to translate that in American or in English is don't quit, have grit. I really like that. I thought it was very catchy. He's a catchy kind of guy. Let's see. Another thing that they shared was the comeback is always greater than the setback. And I know as individuals, we always have setbacks, and that's okay because as long as our comeback is greater, that's the important part. And I know that was 3, but there was one more here that I thought was really resonated with me as well. There's 3 stages of being a member. The first one is the baby stage, and we've all been there. We've all gone through it. You fall, you stumble, you learn. You get back up, and you're excited. And you just want to keep going, and it's not a big deal. You're just like that baby learning to walk. The second stage is the teenage stage. So for the people that went to JKO and they were just sitting there and they're saying, oh, I've learned all this. I don't need to take notes. Those are the people that are in the teenage stage. They think they know it all. And then the last stage is the maturity stage. And that's when we really grow and blossom into amazing distributors and amazing coaches. So those were the big ones. Like, so hard to pick because not overload, but like plethora of great information. Like, it was just so great. I'm excited to hear everybody else's. Thanks for letting me share, guys.
That was awesome. I loved that breakdown at the end. Oh my gosh. The babies, the teenagers, and then the adults. That was awesome. What a way to break it down. All right. Would anybody like to volunteer? Krista? Let's go, girl.
Okay. I thought it was amazing. Like, I definitely had, you guys can hear me, right? Okay. No, I definitely had more of a passion for the whole Herbalife team and company when I went to, because my JKO was my first one. But I think the most for me is, as I've been on my spiritual, like my physical walk, spiritually, like this whole company ties in. And just like what you said, Rachel, about like these baby steps and everything like that. Like, I don't know. That was like a part for me. Like, I shared with like Gabby and everybody who I went with that was really an impact for me. And I think like I had more of a passion too, because I like to go deep. And when they started breaking down just the nutritional aspect of like the products and what they do and just everything like that, that really like helped me to have a different mindset as far as like my marketing goes and who like I'm reaching out to. Because like, yeah, I saw like the products can, there's like kid health products and stuff like that. But like, I have a lot of friends whose children are like very picky eaters. So I'm able to like encourage them and help them along. And I have a stepson who is like having a lot of like health issues. So, just like what I was cause I guess I was focusing on a lot of weight loss, but I realized that it was more of a just nutrition and like a way of life, really. So I don't know. I thought it was amazing, and I'm just having a lot of fun doing this. So that's what I took from it, and just getting to meet just, Gabby and Cliche, Susan, and just the women Amanda. So yeah. So that's what I took away. I don't know if that was, there's probably more, but those were the things that really impacted me most. So.
That was awesome. Yes, I know you took down so many notes. Like, it was your first event, and I was just so proud of you. You asked so many questions. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then to see you blossom after, you hitting your first promotion and everything right after, like, yeah, you took right off. So thank you for coming, and I'm excited for you to keep it up. All right, anybody want to volunteer to go next? I will start picking. Okay. Yep, I can hear you.
I'll go. So ours was last weekend, and we had Mike Patterson was our guest speaker, and he was amazing. And he went through 17 causes, the biggest causes of failure. And so, of course, we'll read all 17, and a lot of them were kind of like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, even though maybe it's a good reminder for everybody, like meddlesome curiosity about other people's business. Yeah, that can be a big stopper there that's a big cause of failure. So don't need to worry about anybody else. Skipping down, failure to reach decisions promptly and firmly when all facts needed are already available. That was probably a good one for me. Probably need to launch a little quicker sometimes. I'm going through mine also. Brad Harris did an amazing section also. And he went through rapid planning methods. And one of them that really touched us, I know a bunch of us that were there, is outcome. Really focus on the outcome, instead of just going through the motions. Most people see movement as achievement. It's just movement. So what are you looking to achieve? What is your outcome? That should be your focus as you go into your day, just your daily routine. Get results, not outcome, get results on outcomes, not on activity. So it really helped me to kind of try and get a lot of the fluff, a lot of the unnecessaries out of my daily schedule. The action planner has been amazing with that, and really try and literally every single half-hour increment, what am I doing? What can I eliminate so that it's not taking my focus away from my business? And then the last thing that Brad kind of finished up with, you don't do your shoulds, you do your musts. So that's really big, and determining the difference between your shoulds and your musts, and focusing on your musts. So thanks, guys.
Yes, that's awesome. It's all about verbiage. If we learn to change our verbiage, the possibilities are just endless. They're just endless. All right, would anybody like to go next?
Okay, I was at the same one as Kelly, so we had Mike Patterson.
Okay.
I took a lot of it was about my main notes were on leadership. Good leaders will work on themselves first, because we want to attract what we are. So if we're not in a good place ourselves, then we're not going to attract a very good team. So I put that as my number one takeaway, was that I need to work on myself first and foremost. And one of those is having the capacity to translate my vision into a reality. My second one that I wrote down was having a positive mental attitude. And that goes along with your environment, the people you surround yourself with, the words you use when you speak to people, just everything around you, having a positive mental attitude. The third thing I put down was builders work on not only getting them and keeping them, but developing them. In order to have a strong team, that's a must. If you don't develop them in a good fashion, then your team's going to crumble before you even start. And I also wrote a quote from Brad saying, our eyes only see and our ears only hear what our brains are looking for. So train your brain to focus. I thought that was really important.
Wow.
Those are my main stars.
Good. Yes, that was awesome. I can totally relate to all of that. I just wrote all of that down too, because I should work on myself in order to attract more, right? That's what we all need to do. We all need to attract ourselves to our business and get it going. All right. Anybody like to go next?
I'll go.
Well, Beskies will jump in.
Okay.
So you guys, first of all, excellent takeaways from all you guys. Wow. So what I look for now when I go to an event, you guys, is 1 to 3 things that I can come home with, really focus on and implement into my life. And so the one thing that I have done, and the one takeaway that I got from that event that I've already implemented, is activity without high purpose is the drain to your life. So if it doesn't involve my why, if it doesn't involve my high purpose, it's basically no use in my life. And so I've already implemented, and I'm excited about it because we've already made big changes, and it's great. So that's mine.
One of mine that I really took away was, because I've come from, working outside Herbalife. So make sure you're excited about picking up where you left off the night before. So that's really important to me because, I used to go to work, hate going to work. And now I look at where I go to work now, and it's much better. It's more exciting. And I mean, to show other people that it'd be great. So those were mine.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting us share.
That's so awesome. Courtney, did you want to go next?
Yeah.
You guys see how we're so different before we move on? See how, like you can tell the difference in Corey just joining, mentally just joining Herbalife, and kind of where he's at with his takeaways, and then where I'm at with mine. And we're okay with that, even though we're husband and wife and loving each other exactly where we're at. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because, as your new distributors and your new members come in, it's important to love them and teach that. It's okay because takeaways are going to be different. And they're all of value. So thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. So, this weekend was amazing. We had Brooke Kerwin and Nate Fears, and they were incredible. It was like the first training that I've ever been to where they actually are asking you questions, and they allowed you to ask questions from stage. So we were able to ask them how do you go out in business invite? How do you just different things? And I thought that was really cool because there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of laughter. So it was a really amazing training. My first thing that I would say, it kind of piggybacks off of what Lisa was saying, is so would you like to recruit you for your front line? So I thought that was, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because my computer's being crazy. Okay, so really was important to me. So would you like to recruit yourself for your front line? So do you have clarity about the business? Do you adapt to change? Because I don't know about you guys, but we better get ready for a lot of change when it comes to Herbalife. So if you're not plugging into calls, you're not going to trainings, this is not the time to miss calls. This is not the time to miss training. Because I learned a lot this weekend, and Herbalife has a lot coming for us. So we need to make sure that we're staying on top of that. And are we an example of the coach that we want to be? So just make sure that you are, they said, write down a list of all the characteristics that you want in your front line. And then are you all of those things? And if not, then you have things to work on. Because like Abby said, we attract ourselves. So that was my first thing. And then my second thing was Brooke talked about fishing and how she used to go fishing with her sister, and she would always watch her sister's bobber. and she would always catch fish, and she couldn't understand why she wasn't. So she basically was saying, watch your own bobber, because you're going to miss people if you are comparing yourself to other people. So if you're spending too much time comparing yourself to your coach who's been in the business 5 years, or, you know, someone who's brand new but is going a little bit faster than you, if you're paying attention to those people, then you're missing people in your life. So just stay focused, like laser focused, only worry about yourself, and don't compare yourselves to other people. And then my very last thing was kind of a story, and it was just really powerful. She was telling us how she had a person on her team last week call her, and she was supposed to open up the club. She called her at like 5 a.m, and she was like, Brooke, I can't do this anymore. I'm working really hard. Nothing's going right. I'm fed up, blah, blah, blah. We've all been there. I'm sure we've all been fed up. We've all called our coaches upset. And Brooke basically said, okay, no problem. This is what I want you to do. I don't want you to open the club today. I want you to go and pick up your daughter from school. I want you to take her home. And then I want you to tell your daughter that she was not worth it. And so like she knew her why was her daughter. So she was basically turning it on, flipping it around and being like, okay, tell her that she was not worth, you know, fighting hard for her today. So I told Lisa today, you know, now that's almost like me coming home, and if I didn't do everything I needed to do, that's looking at my husband being like, you're not worth it to me to retire you. So it wasn't worth it. So if you guys have any bad days, just remember your why and keep going and don't quit. So yes, this weekend was amazing.
Wow. That's so deep. That's extremely deep. And sometimes you do have to think that way. Like you just need that other side of things to put you back on track, to put it in a different perspective. So deep. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely going to think about that all the time now. My daughter's worth it. All of our wives are worth it, guys. All of them are worth it.
Absolutely.
All right. Who wants to volunteer to go next?
I'll go.
Tanya, all right.
So I was with Courtney at JKO, and like she said, there was a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, but also a lot of tears. Brooke being a mom really resonated with me a lot, because I think sometimes as moms feel guilt about working, not being there 24/7 with our kids, but she really put it in perspective for me and said, okay, I have my time that I need to work. I'm working for my kid. I will have my time to snuggle with my kid, but right now I need to work. And I will have time to celebrate their birthday. It might not be exactly on their birthday, and I think it was Laura that said this. It might not be exactly on their birthday, but the day after, they're not going to care. Either way, you know, as long as we celebrate, they're not going to care that on their birthday I have a training, as long as we celebrate. So that really resonated with me as a mom, because like this weekend I missed my son's basketball game, which he did too because he was not far from me. But say he was home and I missed his basketball game, I would have felt guilty about that. But now I don't have to feel as guilty because next weekend he has another game. I'll see that game. He has 8 games. I see 7 of them. It'll be okay. Another thing that Brooke said was and apparently this has been said before, so some of y'all might have seen this or heard this, but she had 10 white balloons. And she said she starts her day out with 10 energy balloons. And as she goes through her day, this happens. And as these little things happen, these balloons get popped. And by the end of the day, she comes home and her son wanted her to read her a book, and she just don't have any energy left because she spent her energy on stuff that didn't matter. So make sure you are spending your energy right. Don't spend it on insignificant stuff like road rage or a negative person that doesn't even need to be in your life, or if they have to be in your life, you know, because they're your husband or your mom or your dad or whatever, you don't have to feed into that. You do not have to give your energy to that. Make sure you're putting your energy where it needs to be. And I think the rest of it was really just making sure, like the biggest thing I got out is your workflow. 5 to 7 customers. 5 to 7 customers will get you where you need to be always. They did the same thing of getting that one person up there, going out and getting 5 to 7 customers, one distributor for 4 months. The stage was slam packed. If we did that every month consistently, our team would be ginormous, and each of us would be millionaire team in no time. So that's my takeaways.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tanya.
And I'm sorry I look crazy. I just walked in the door.
Well, thank you for hopping on. That shows huge commitment as well. And thank you for sharing so much. Who would like to go next? I think Lisa.
I think Alicia wants to go next.
Alicia?
Yeah, girl.
All right, Alicia, let's hear it.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I went with Tanya, Lisa, and Courtney, so mine are probably pretty similar. The first one was the 5 to 7. Coming back to the business, I've been racking my brain, trying to strategize, trying to think about the market, what's my DMO, just overthinking things and breaking it down to just getting 5 to 7 people every month. Just making sure that you keep it simple it was just incredible to think of it that way. It's not a lot to do, and it takes so much stress off of you. You know, you just have to do 5 to 7. So that helped out quite a bit. That took a lot of stress off of my mind about overthinking things. The second one, which Brooke said, mind dump at the end of the day. I'm not a big writer. I actually hate it, but I went and bought a journal because she said that she had journals from the last, I think she said 6 to 10 years. And every single night she'd write just something about her day, 3 things that she's grateful for, and 3 things that she was manifesting. And it was really good for her to look back at those journals and see the progress that she had made, as well as the struggles that she went through. It also made her relate to her team, because she could go back and see when she was on World Team and she was stuck and she was frustrated. She can relate to her current World Team members who are in the same position. So I like that idea. I'm going to try it out. Lastly, let me see. I think you guys said them all. Sorting, not selling. In my regular 9 to 5, I'm in sales, and you do kind of find yourself getting into that mindset of where you have to sell, push, give it to the person, convince them that it's something that they want and need. But Mike Curtis said on stage, it's our job to sort, not sell. So we present it to them and we let them choose. And again, I'm all about making my life simple, but making my life successful. So that was a really big kind of paradigm shift too.
That was great. Gosh, sounded like a positive, such an amazing JKO. I love Brooke Kerwin. She's awesome. Like, her energy is insane and she's hilarious. Like, she's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Yes, and Nate, Nate is her downline.
Oh, really?
And that was the first time he's ever been on stage. So she was extremely emotional because, like, she was watching her downline for the first time on stage. So it was a good week. It was a great weekend.
Oh, that's great. Love that lady. All right, I think Lisa Blast wants to go next. Maybe, possibly. Lisa.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, wait, you can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good, sorry. I'm in my car, yeah, heading back. Okay, so you guys, I had an incredible time, incredible. So it was so fun to go to North Carolina and be with that huge organization and see Tanya and Courtney and Alicia and just be with everyone. It was so wonderful. So this is what my a takeaway I have, and it's not something specific that I learned there, but major clarity. I want you guys to know and have confidence that what this group, so the Rockstar Coaches and Team Elite, has created, and that means all of us. I mean, we're all a puzzle piece in this whole like masterpiece. What we've created is solid, like solid. And there were reminders all weekend long, and I know that Tanya and Courtney that have been in this system we all have created for a while. Like, we had reminders all weekend long that, guys, we are 100% on the right track. I mean, I'm telling you, like, all the presentations that Nate and Brooke were doing, I mean, the checklist, like, yeah, we're doing that, we're doing this, we're getting up early, we've got accountability partners. Yes, we always start with a 3-day trial. We're very systematic. Like, we're great with follow-up, all these things. And it was just, I had so much clarity all weekend that, you guys, we're like ahead of the game, like we really have it going on. So, all it takes now is just plugging into this system that we have, which is, the Sunday night calls and Monday night Zoom and our To Get Started system and all the special extras like that this awesome Rockstar Coaches has created. So that's the takeaway I had, that you guys should have really confidence that if you work hard and you're doing the deal, because that's what we have. It's done for us. It's laid out the plan that you will be successful without a doubt. So I don't know, Courtney or Tanya, who have, Alicia's, new back into our system, but Courtney and Tanya, did you guys feel that there was lots of reminders all weekend that, gosh, we're doing the right thing?
Oh yeah, I left crystal clear that we are on the right track.
Everything that we're doing is like exactly what they're doing. So there's no reason that our team shouldn't succeed and go beyond success. Everybody.
Yeah. Amen.
As long as you're following the system. So if you're not following the system, then you're not going to get there. But
and you have to work. Like, you can't like sit at home and say, "Oh, I'm following the system," but you're not getting out and actually working.
Yeah.
What is it, Courtney? Just do it.
Yeah. Saying it over and over again. Get off the couch and go.
Yeah.
The world owes you nothing. They kept saying that. The world owes you absolutely nothing. Like, the only way you'll get anything in life is if you go after it. She was very clear. She said that multiple times. She'd be like, "Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Okay. I just want to say it one more time. Like, the world owes you nothing." Like, okay, we get it.
I mean, yeah, multiple times they as well as that other, STSs, they brought up 5 to 7 customers. And you guys, that's what we're doing. We're doing the 10 trials, and 10 trials produces 5 to 7 customers, And so we're doing that, and we're just growing such a foundation within this group. It's incredible. So I'm really proud of everybody that went to January kickoffs and are plugging into these trainings and really follow the system, because if you follow the system, that's how you're going to duplicate, because you'll be able to plug someone right into the system and duplicate and duplicate and duplicate.
Yep. Thank you so much for sharing, Lisa. All right. Anybody want to go next real quick?
Yeah, I had a couple just real quick ones I wanted to share.
Sure, Jason. Go ahead.
So I was in Kansas City with Lisa and Kelly and the Buskies and Mike Patterson. So like those 17 biggest causes of failure was huge. But a couple other little things that they didn't mention was that I really liked was Brad was talking about feelings, action, and identity. So like a lot of people will have those mixed up the way you should really focus on it. You wake up in the morning, it's like, well, I don't feel like going to work out. So that action takes you not to go. And then, your identity coming from that is just you feel bad about it because later you're like, I didn't go work out. I'm not worth anything, blah, blah, blah. But if you actually flip those around, you wake up in the morning, it's like, all right, I'm this person who's going to be active every day and be in the best shape of my life. you take the action to do that, and then the feeling that comes from that is going to be awesome. So you can just focus on that from everything that you do in life. And then also, as far as like goal setting, like having a plan, don't only focus on setting the goals, focus on setting the habits that are going to reach those goals. So that was something like, think about, what habit can you do every day that's going to get to the goal that you have envisioned.
Wow, that's awesome. Those are all great takeaways. Thanks for hopping on, Jason. It's good to see your face again.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask for one last share. I see Dean on here. Dean, did you want to share? Lean Dean? Dean.
How about Naomi? I want to hear about Boston.
I was just getting ready to click on, but I wanted to wait and see if Dean was going to answer.
No, Naomi, you can go ahead.
Boston was, oh my God, amazing. Take Kansas City and quadruple it. It was humongous. There was so much stuff. I took away a lot of stuff, but I think the biggest thing for me was don't compare me. I got a big problem with comparing. And don't, what was the words they used? Basically, ask everybody. Don't discriminate. Ask everybody. And one of the biggest things that I've been able to do this week is actually talk about what I do and my lifestyle, and hand out my business cards and be proud of it and not be afraid of it. And say, oh, yeah, that Herbalife thing is like, yeah, I'm doing that Herbalife thing. And this is what it's made me. This is how I look. I look awesome.
Yes. Be proud, girl.
I am. I'm starting to be proud of me and where I am and what I'm doing and the product, and all the negativity. Just, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Take it. Deal with it. Go away. Give me the positive stuff. And the I ams that everybody's posting, awesome. I appreciate it. It builds my day.
Awesome. I'm so happy for you. You were one of the first to attend JKO, and I know it's been like eating at you just to spit all of this information at us. That's so great.
There was just so much. I was actually a little overwhelmed. What was really, really good for me is I brought my downline with me. It was his idea. He was really, really excited to be there, and he is still dedicated to his program. He doesn't want to build the business, but he does want to stay on the program. He wants to use the product. It's working. He's seeing the difference, and he is just really, really excited.
Good. I'm glad you were able to bring somebody. That's awesome.
Me too. I did not want to go down there alone.
Yes, always good to bring somebody. So, if Dean can't see, he's having technical issues. Dean, if you just want to share in the thread with us after the call, our special guest has arrived, and we wanted to give her the floor for a little bit to explain the point of sales. Alexis, thank you so much for joining.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, girl.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Thanks for having me on tonight. So great to be really present to this call and listening to you guys. Just hearing you share your stories and what you got from JKO, and congratulations for going, of course. And for those of you that missed it, no problem. I would plug in, like Courtney said, from here on out, because things are changing and they are for the better. And that's what I'm really excited about. And congratulations, Lisa, 2,500, heard that. And I thought I saw Alicia on there. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi, girl. Love you. Miss you. And everybody else, of course. So I'm going to share my quick story with you because my intention tonight is to talk about the point of sale system from Herbalife, from the Future Pres Team Retreat, which was an incredible event this year. That's where the leaders get together of North America, and I cannot wait till all of us are there together, representing together, sitting together, recycling wisdom and vision, and really bringing it back to our communities, and that's what we get to do. So before Herbalife, I was a broke waitress living paycheck to paycheck. And I played soccer in college, but I was no longer an athlete. I got into the waitressing world, if anybody knows that world, partying and drinking and just not headed down the right path. And I really wanted to change. I was unhealthy. I was unhappy. I was fluffy. I was uncomfortable in my skin. I didn't feel good about myself. And I was driving a hoopty car. Anybody driving one of those out there? Just not good. Sometimes it wouldn't start. Sometimes it smoked. It was crazy. And I was making about $1,000 a month. I'd moved back into my dad's house, which was a chaotic, unhealthy, not very dysfunctional environment. So I really needed to get out of that, and I really needed something to do with my purpose. I knew I wanted to serve people, just not Italian food, for the rest of my life. So I was like, okay, there's something bigger here. I'm made for something bigger. So I actually answered an ad that was an personal assistant to Brad and Pam Harris, which is all of our Pres Team upline. I didn't know they were Pres Team at the time, of course, but Pam did my wellness evaluation, and I was like, whoa, I really kind of am overweight. I need to lose some body fat. I'm not feeling really good. This is great. I love this idea of doing this with people. And then Brad talked to me about doing Excel and PowerPoint and helping them with the local events. And you guys know some of the story. I was terrible at that stuff. But what I did love was the products. And so that helped me get energy. I was feeling really good on the products. The shakes were easy and amazing. I was a breakfast skipper before that. So it was awesome for me to incorporate that in my life. I lost 10% body fat and I've kept it off for 8 years now. So that was incredible for me. It got me a personal attachment to the products. I was a terrible assistant and sort of got fired as an assistant, but then I was like, okay, I really love being a coach. Can I be a coach? Because I loved helping people, and I loved that I've got my moxie back, and I really wanted other people to get their moxie back. And that was something I decided to become really in tune with, is people that were dissatisfied or weren't sparkling, and they should be, and we all should be. And I was like, that's okay. That's my goal. You don't have your moxie, girl, come get with me. I'm going to give you your moxie back, or guy, or whoever. And that made me really excited. So I started working around waitressing. I was actually working at Barnes & Noble too. It was all these little random jobs trying to replace $1,000 a month. I was doing shake parties. I was flyering like crazy, 1,000 flyers a day. I was doing invites, working really, really hard because I had a focus and I had an intention and I had an outcome that I wanted. And that was to get out of my dad's house and really do something for myself. So I got to replace that waitressing income, got out of my dad's house into my first apartment, and really struggling. After we got in the first one, the second month, I was like, man, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for all this stuff? This is crazy. I don't know what I've gotten myself into. I've bitten off more than I can chew. My dad says I grew up on champagne taste, but beer budget, and I was like, all these negative things were coming into my head. Like, wait, what decision did I make? How am I going to do this? And then I remember falling to the floor. I prayed. And I was like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, please help me pay my rent this month. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I go and have a shake party. I sold $900 worth of products that month. The almost $300 I made helped me pay the rest of my rent. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm in. I'm doing this for the rest of my life. So I stayed in, went full time, started to build a team and coaches and plug into the events. And I heard someone on here, maybe Naomi, said she brought a downline to the event. You got it, girl. That's the point of the events, is going and bringing your downline with you. So that's how you really build this team that you guys have here in this community that I love. And I'm so proud of you guys for doing. So we'll get right into the point of sale system if you guys are good with that. Oh yeah, so I definitely don't have a hoopsie anymore. And it's I always forget the end part because the first part was so exciting and that's what's relatable. But I really do, I make a 6-figure income, but that really is irrelevant in the sense of, once you start to take care of yourself, it's really about how you can take care of others and how can I get money in other people's pocket and how can I get other people to get their husband out of their jobs or whatever it may be. And I posted about a customer this weekend. If you haven't seen on my Facebook page, she's dancing around. She was so excited because she could get up off the floor and feel really good, and it wasn't hard for her. And I was bawling my eyes out. I was like 8 years on Herbalife, and here I am crying for this customer. Like, this is amazing. Okay, moving on to the point of sale. So Herbalife so we're going to be making some changes. And if you've been in for a while, be open to the change because it's really going to be phenomenal. Talking about like how we get paid and documented volume and all of that stuff will sort of come out. And I know they covered a lot of that at January kickoff. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about the point of sale system. So has everybody downloaded that onto their phones? If you have an Android or an iPhone, you can download it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not. But it says Herbalife Nutrition POS. So I think you can Google search that. So understand that this point of sale is the same thing as My Herbalife on your phone. So it's an app for your phone. Yay, I see it. Yes, good job, Kim. So this is going to be, I think if you log in, I think Angie had this question, they'll keep you logged in for about 24 hours. Some people it's a little less, but they're definitely trying to work on a system where it can stay logged in so you don't have to log in every single time. But this is what we really want to get really in tune with because we're going to have receipted volume. So with our business flow of 3-day trial and follow-up and lean and fit, we're going to incorporate people registering on Go Herbalife or becoming a preferred member, but that's maybe not something we had a whole lot of language of before, of people getting on Go Herbalife and checking out that way and signing in that way. And then the loyalty program, of course, that the preferred members and all of them are going to get. So when you do your POS system, when you first log in, you can place a distributor order. So a place a distributor order is going to be a customer direct. So like you can send it directly to a retail customer from your phone, from your app, from your My Herbalife. It's really awesome. I can drop ship it to any customer. So I can drop ship it to my dad, and it's going to be documented receipted volume. And that's the kind of thing we want to be happening. So we can directly send it. So I can log my dad in as a customer, and I can ship it right to him, and give it a profit and everything. Now, if I'm doing discounts on there, and not that we really want to be duplicating discounts, if they're not signed up as a member or anything. Sometimes if you're in networking groups or mommy groups or something, maybe you do 5% off or 10% off, or like my dad gets a discount. You just want to make sure you have a profit on there. So that will count as a documented receipt. Then there's retail inventory too. So you want to make sure you're playing with this app. So this POS app. Retail inventory is when you guys have inventory at home or in your nutrition club. This is what you want to be selling out of. But you want to make sure you're keeping track of this volume. So receipting it yourself and doing it yourself. So, before maybe somebody would just walk out with products from your house. There was really no receipt attached to it. Does that make sense? Now there needs to be. Now there needs to be a receipt. So what's cool is you can go into your app and you can click on, if somebody has it pulled up, I think you can click on create new customer. Create new receipt. And that's where you'll create it for either a cash, or if you use Square or PayPal or a credit card machine like at your nutrition clubs, or if you used Square or PayPal at your house. So that way, if somebody walked out at the end of the day, I'll go, and they didn't use my Go Herbalife site, I will go in, create a new receipt. Okay, Gabby bought this, and this is what she did, and I'm going to fill this whole thing out, and then say how she paid, and that is documented out of my retail inventory. Does that make sense? You guys follow me there? Does anyone have any questions so far? I know we're not going through the app together, but this is where I might do this again with you guys in a little bit and have some screenshots of the app to do this together. But right now I just want to create the conversation because we have some time before this has to be implemented, but we want to be very aware of it and doing it well before it launches, in May. Okay, so you can do, and your third option, when you click on that first button, you have us, that we don't get taxed as high on whatever we personally consume. So, and in that, so I think that documents everything, your POS. Okay, so now with our business flow a little bit, and a lot of you guys probably do this because you have a long distance customers, but even in person, I'm doing this now too. And this may change. So I want you guys to be open to change. And that was part of the conversation at Future Pres Team Retreat, is that making sure we're having a growth mindset and going with the change. If you're not an app person, if you're not a techie person, it is okay. First of all, let's get that story out of our head and stop saying that I'm not a techie person and I'm not an app person. And I really invite you to say that I can figure this out. Because if I can do this, you guys can do this too. I'm not a real techie person before, but now I am. I'm like, I got this. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to receipt everything and it's going to be unbelievable. So we do 3-day trial to our day 1, 2, 3 follow-up, right? To our Lean and Fit program. So now when I'm going to use my nutrition club, but you can use your house too. So if someone's with me and they're purchasing products and they're going to walk out with a bag of products, I'm going to pull up my Go Herbalife site, and that's where they're going to check out and pay and ship the products back to me. Does that make sense? So that is documented volume. So that is also a way to do it instead of going back in and creating a new receipt for someone who checked out on a credit card machine. So that's just an easy way to do it too. So I did it this weekend. I had Maddie. She walked out with products from my nutrition club, and I had her just log on to Go Herbalife. She filled out her whole thing and then shipped it back to my nutrition club. And that way it's automatically documented. I don't have to worry about anything. Does that process make sense too, even out of your house? Okay. Give some thumbs up, some heads. Okay, cool. So, and that'll be just part of our language now to really incorporate that in, instead of going back and making receipt, but you can do it if someone paid you cash or something, or they don't have a card, you can go back in there and document it and receipt it. Just make sure you are doing that. Since that's a new habit, we want to make sure, I think it would be a good habit. Jason talked about habits earlier, to make sure we're checking on this at the end of the day, because we don't want to wait until the end of the week or you just want to push things off. You want to get it done at the end of the day. What did I do retail today? Did I document it? Where is it? How's it doing? Because we want to duplicate good habits, right? And duplicate them all the way down. So we don't want our downlines waiting for a week, to document some of their volume. So I think the cool thing about Go Herbalife too, you guys, if you guys think about people getting familiar with how Herbalife's background looks and logging into the system, and then being a customer transitioning into a preferred member or to a distributor, it's going to be a really easy transition because they're already familiar with the way it looks. It's creating good habits in our customers that will potentially be preferred members or distributors. So there's this very easy transition, instead of this, like, they went from a customer where they were having an interaction with us to, oh my gosh, they're a distributor, look at this overwhelming website. Now they're like, oh, I'm familiar with this. I was using Go Herbalife. Like, this is easy. This looks the same or very similar. So make sure you're getting on the app and playing with this. Maybe even send your next couple customers to your mom or to your family so you can play with it and mess up or whatever you need to do. And know that you can recommend carts too. So I know right now you can do it to a first line preferred member. Recommend a cart to them, because look, you get someone started long distance, I get you started, Gabby, and I'm like, have you guys ever talked about, like, okay, this is what you do, this is what you get, log in and look for your protein drink mix. And sometimes we're doing it together with them on the phone and it's confusing, or we're trying on a FaceTime. Now I can recommend a cart. So Gabby gets signed up, she's a preferred member. I'm going to go into my account, I'm going to fill out a Lean and Fit in my cart, and at the bottom it says save cart or recommend cart. So I click recommend cart and I can send it right to Gabby, and she'll get an email. She'll open it up and be able to purchase that right away. So isn't that cool? I know they're going to be able to do it for our retail customers too. I don't know if that's in action yet, but they will be able to do that, which is going to be really. Go ahead, Kim.
To create or recommend the cart. So basically, you already put products in there, like on a program, like a Lean and Fit, and then you can send a link to the person. Like, is it through email or Facebook or Face Messenger?
It's through email.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll want to make sure that, like, I would make sure, Kim, great question. I would make sure that you are logged in as a customer of mine, or I'm logging you in. It's going to send you an email. If you're not already and then it'll pull up as an email and it'll show like the part that I recommended. You'll be able to purchase it right from there when you click on it. But great question. Yeah. And maybe they'll have more options to send it in a text or something, but I know right now you can send it in an email. So definitely for your preferred members that you get started that are brand new, you can send some recommended carts if they're not totally familiar with it yet, which is really awesome. And I think you can send it to distributors, but I don't necessarily see the necessity in that. Distributors should, they're independent and we've already taught them. They should know, what that stuff is, but definitely preferred members or clients. Great question. Is there any other questions?
I have a question really quickly.
Yes, please.
For people that are doing like fit camps and they're selling like prepare or rebuild, is there a way to document the receipts for that?
Rachel, great question. So I think they are working on that. So they said when they put in, if you have a nutrition club, there are 17 different models of nutrition clubs right now. I'm sure there's more than that, but I know that some of them are like fit camp outside, no physical building. So they are working on that. Yes. So I don't think they have it quite yet, but there will be a way to do that, which is going to be awesome. Yes. So very, very cool. Great question. And this is how they're, so I want you guys to ask any questions you have or anything that comes up for you, send them to me or Lisa or Angie or anybody, because this is how they're going to perfect the app, is this right here. You know what I mean? Us talking about it and how do they do this in this situation? Because I'm sure if we've thought about it, they have thought about it, but they still would love feedback. They want feedback on the app because they're doing it for us. They're doing it so it's easy for us. It's quick, it's simple, it's amazing, and it's all receipted, and people are, we receipt our volume anywhere else we go. If you purchase anything anywhere, you get a receipt for it. So this is a great, movement forward for us too. You guys have any other questions? Hi, Lise.
I have a quick thing to say to you guys, just really quick. So this is so awesome information, and we're so lucky to have Alexis on the call. So, hey, Alexis, can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. Anyways, everybody in Kansas City, I'm excited. But so you guys, they said this so many times this weekend. So if you're new, no problem. If you've been around for a while, no problem. You guys, we're simply writing a receipt for our client. You go to Target, you don't buy an item and then walk out and be like, bye, thanks. You get a receipt, right? And if they forget to give you a receipt, then you're like, oh, can I get a receipt? You ask for that. That's all this is. So don't get, if you've been around for a while and this is new, don't get in your mind that, whoa, my God, what is this? It's simple. It's a receipt. That's it. It's amazing, right? That Herbalife now has an app for us to do it. It's better.
It's easier. Yeah. So if I would get the app definitely and play around on it. It's easy. It's going to be awesome. You just want to, the most thing is going to be the people that have like inventory. That's going to be a transition, but it's going to be great, but it's going to be just making sure you document within that. Run out of my set, but yeah, so the inventory and documenting that, it's so, and then eventually it'll all be on the same POS. Way to swipe in. So this is going to be awesome. Okay, cool. Is it anyone
in the club and for our customers this week, and it's incredible, and we absolutely love it, and it is like, it's business. So it makes, once we started using it, at first we were like, kind of like whatever, but it's like now it's just, I can't even say, we know exactly to the penny how much money we're making, how much we're bringing in as a business. We kind of did before, but it was a whole different way, and it was a lot more difficult. And now that we're doing this, it's actually a lot simpler. So we love it. It's going to be incredible. We're excited.
I'm really proud of your transition there, Angie, too, because you were a little bit like, at first. And I just say that in the sense of where you are now. So it's great. You quickly changed that mindset. You took it on. I'm really proud of you for that. Thanks for leading the way.
So basically, instead of hearing suggested retail sales, it will literally be me.
I'm like, what do we do next? Okay, now we're all like
He
stunned.
became alive. Look, I see him moving around now.
Where?
Right there. He's moving around.
Corey, I'm not on mute.
What?
Hey, Jason.
Corey, busted, Corey. We got the real Busky.